Hello, Star Wars fans and builders. Welcome to the Bounty Hunter Lounge. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how I built this, what I consider to be the Soohka egg power converter. Now, Sean Cash from To Try and Finish Something and Odin from Odin Makes put out a video around Christmas time about doing power converters. I've been working on this prior to Thanksgiving. This was kind of a lengthy process to build all this stuff, but I've gotten some ideas. It's an egg crate. This is actually a box from Dollar Tree. I've got some plumbing fittings in here. I've got my LED lights that are strung through some c-pap tubing to make it look like a power converter that's on this side wall. With this in this room build, it's going to be like the interior slave one. So my ideas, things came also from Kelly Stern from Props and Building, how he does his light boxes and everything else out of EVA foam. So I combined EVA foam with some pre-mades and parts that I did. So in this video, you're going to see a lot of that. A lot of the weathering techniques I learned from Ado and from FabWorks. Got inspiration from Ron from CG Artist, James Coley from Rebel Base Builds, Stephen Arnott from the Rebel Workshop, Matt from the Rebel Refuge inspired me to do a Razor Crest door. He had done a bathroom door, so go check out his videos on that. Dennis Mason has great work from the Black Market Outpost. Tony Fullen also has inspired me to do a lot of the builds as well with his versions of his room at Docking Bay 327. So, and of course, the least but not last, Brian Thompson, the godfather of the room builders, the Smuggler's Room. So he's done a lot of inspiration. So I got on this journey, found a lot of these creators, and everyone's out doing real, good builds on their YouTube channels and their IG, Instagrams. You can follow me on Instagram at the Bounty Hunter Lounge. So in this video, I'm going to do a process through that. Got some video snippets, and I've got some photos to go along. So hope you guys enjoy it, and thanks again for visiting the Bounty Hunter Lounge. Okay, so here I've got the egg crate and plastic container. So as you can see here, I'm going to set up how I want to cut out. So you can see the egg crate here. Plastic container I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to set it in the middle and then eventually get some fittings that I'm going to add to this as well. They're going to go on the sides. So you can see just a fitting we got from the hardware store. I had these on hand. I'm going to apply them to underneath here, possibly glue them in place with hot glue. So I'm going to set this inside. It's going to go through and insert from the bottom up. So that way I can access that, sand this down, paint it. I was originally going to put LED lights inside there, but decided I'm just going to scuff it up, paint it, get everything set in place where I want to. I'm going to grab a Sharpie, and you can see where I'm going to run the two pipes through this side, and they're going to come out the other way too. So when they mount on the wall, they'll actually be out the side. So once this sets through, I'm going to reverse it, mark it, and then pull up through the bottom. So I'm going to hold it in place, grab the Sharpie, and just mark it with the Sharpie around. So as you see, I'm just going to pull through here, make a couple of lines, get a little more detail. I'll cut it out. Once I get it cut out, I'll have it set up when I come back to show you it's inserted in there. So just marking a few more lines, then we'll cut it out. So here's some greavies that I fit together. I changed it up a little bit. And there's the hoses. And there's it beforehand, cut out, ready to go in place. Got it in set. So I'm mocking it up right now basically getting everything set. These I painted ahead of time. That's actually hard drive pieces and parts. You'll see I've painted them as well. That's how it's going to be displayed. These are little greeblies that I got. Actually, IVC, IV fluid things. My wife had surgery and had these on hand, medical supplies. So I thought I would incorporate those. So I got a lot of inspiration from Kelly Stern with a lot of his room build. And I had some Cat5 cable, the twisted pair, basically I used. So you can see here I inserted some parts from the hard drive, kind of test fitted what I wanted to look like. Got a couple ideas. These are the greeblies that I painted up, primed, the T-lid, all the other ones painted in silver. I went through and did latex. So there's a hard drive piece that's inside of it, so it looks like a socket, droid socket. And here it is, finished, painted, and I'm going to prep out the area so you can see it's a simply fused lid that Brian uses a lot. This is a hard drive. This actually I glued down to the top of the drive motor, and you can see here that it actually turns and rotates, so it gives it an infield thing. So you can actually use it. It doesn't actually physically do anything other than move them. So I'm going to put it around. I've got this scuffed up. There were some pre-printed labels here, and so I scuffed it right there. I'm going to use a Scotch-Brite pad, just scuff the rest of it up, so it gets it ready for paint and application, so that it has the paint in it here to basically prime it, go through, and then I'll spray with silver. Then I'll do my masking with the liquid latex, and then that'll actually peel off from the paint here, so you can see I'm scuffing everything up, getting it all ready. So just a lot of steps to go through to get what you want done for the prep and everything. So you can see it scuffed it up a little bit, got it set up. You're going to see a mock-up where I want the displays. These will actually be glued down. So you can see I've already weathered those. I haven't done the dirtying yet. That'll be in episode 2 of this video. And then here I've got, you can see the egg crate. It's got the hole cut out. That'll basically, that's the bottom. So it'll insert through the top, and I'll actually glue the pieces to it. Basically hot glue it in place. So you can see here, I'm going to slide it over top. It'll pop through, so it actually looks like it'll be one cohesive piece once it's done. So you can see there, I'm trying to line it up. I wanted to go a little further up top, but then I kept it right up there, so it actually fit in place because of that bottom ridge. It stays in place. So then you can see here, I'm going to basically attach that to there. I'll do the other one. I didn't want to go too crazy with it, just wanted to keep it simple. So that's where we're at with that one. And then you'll see these hoses here. Cut the stickers off. These are fittings for plumbing fittings. They've got like a 3/4 inch setup. I'm going to come through there, figure it out, trying to get an idea of how I'm going to attach them here with the hot glue. Eventually what I did was I got the EVA foam, which I got the idea, like I said, from Kelly Stern, and cut up some EVA foam parts that I had, and basically made a frame around it so it actually looks like a component that was attached. It will attach to the wall in the back. So you can see in hot glue gun, basically I'm going to hot glue all the way around the outside, on the inside too. And when you hot glue it and spray paint it, it actually looks like a weld. So it's actually pretty good. So, and in the next video here, these are me putting together these little IV filter. They actually are IV caps for medical. Wife had surgery. Was home during the COVID thing because she couldn't finish the surgery because they shut everything down. So I had these laying around and just decided to put those together, make kind of a stack. So you can see here I'm applying the hot glue and basically join those together so they get one piece, and those will sit inside of the where the egg crate is. So it'll give it an effect of like wire conduits. So just a little bit of hot glue here and there. Take the top piece, apply it. Sometimes it moved around on me a bit, so I had to adjust it to get it center. But for the most part, as you can see here, I just slide it around a little bit. That hot glue sets up and holds in place too. So I did a lot of this stuff beforehand, and then got it all set, sealed, and then primed and painted. So I went through and did 8 of those. So you can see I've done a few. So I did an 8 total, and then I've got an idea for 2 that I had from another part of it that I'm going to add into with the wire. Those will connect into the hard drive piece. So this project was probably about a month and a half that I worked on this. So a few issues with the hot glue, but it works fine. It worked out the way I wanted it to. So thumbs up there, we're all good. And you'll start seeing the photos that I did. So here's everything primed, all the little greebly pieces in the box. As you can see, they're primed there. And then I Mosh polished because that is actually cardboard, so that would actually not soak up all the paint. So here you can see I did the primer. Just did a great primer setup through that. Once I did that, I then went through and painted the silver, so you get that silver look. Then you take the, I did yellow, but before that I had done the liquid latex in spots and then poured it on there so that I could peel off the yellow tape paint and the brown paint so you get that silver coming through. You can see here, that's where all the latex was. And I had previously taped down the areas that I was going to glue down for those. So there's the X-ray painted yellow. You can see I put a couple of greablies in place. There's the box ready to go to mount the other pieces. You can see the sides there. That's all done. Like I said, I still have to do the weathering. So there's the greablies on top, and then me hot gluing in the IV filter pieces. That's where they're set up. So it kind of looks like an engine almost. I mean, I got the idea like spark plugs or something. The ground wire set up here, so you can see I did the Cat 5. Just twisted the wires up, changed up 2 different colors. And then this is the video here of how I set everything up. So you can see all the wires crisscrossed. I glued them in place. Once I got everything figured out where I wanted, I glued everything in place. So these are the parts there that would come in pre-sealed. Like I said, I've had those on hand. So I come up with 2 different ideas, but what I originally did was with the yellow and the red. So there's the twisted wires. Basically, there's colors for Cat 5. You just take out the sheeting and you can pull those colors out. So I've got them stuck in there now. They're not glued in place. I'm going to hot glue them and join them to those 2 rod pieces who actually come off the hard drive. They actually fit in. So I jumped them. So it makes it look like a power converter connection. That's my version of it. And then I take the hose fittings that are here. They're going to go in the sides here that you can see. And then I will hot glue those in place. And then I'll put a frame box around it so that'll hide all that. So that way I have something set up. So there's the kind of the build there. You can see how it goes and looks. That's kind of my wall room build. There's the door there, and then it's actually going to go underneath that Boba Fett picture is where I'm going to mount it. So I just had 1 set of LED lights that go through the room. So basically still working on this room build. So it's a building process. That's actually going to be turned into, the workbench is actually going to be Boba Fett's console for Slave 1. So you'll look forward to seeing that later as I do some more videos. So you can see how I come up with the concept of getting everything done. So now I've got the other fittings I'm going to add in here. Got to twist them and then glue them in place. and then these will screw into the sides. So I had to pull them out to get it forced in there. I want to try and get all the wires, but I had to kind of snip them off a little bit, get them fit in there. And then this blue cover piece comes from the other part of the filter, and that's going to glue into the edge. So I put a little hot glue down inside of it, and then just shove the wire down in there, and it'll hold it in place once that glue dries or cools down, basically. So you can see here, getting ready to insert it there. And then I'll twist it into the side. So I've done several different mock-ups of this and changed it. I had several other greavies that I had really done. So when I came through this, and like I said prior, Kelly Stern at Possibility has a room build that he put on the YouTube channel. He previously had his IG account, and I followed it, and the wiring that he did just inspired me to kind of build this too. So Kelly, thanks for your build. You've inspired me to do a lot of this stuff as well too. So looking forward to finishing my room and getting it to look like Slave One. So it's gonna take some time. So here I'm just finishing up where I'm going to place it and glue it in. So you can see here I've got the wires set up. I got them trying to jump back and forth. I've got the two end pieces done how I want it. I glued them into there, tight in the other side, bent the wires down so they're in place. Those fittings are actually screwed in place. So you can see kind of like the droid socket set up here that I did. So that's glued in place. It doesn't move. The only thing that moves is the handle knob on the side there. But you can see how the weathering did. So glued those all in place. They're hot glued in there, so they're not going to come out. Basically, that's the fitting I did. I did the red and yellow, which I videotaped after this. But that's what I set up. So different combinations that I was trying to do. And then glued those pieces on the ends there. And the hard drive piece, that thing spins so you can see it actually works. So it's a functional thing. It doesn't really do anything excuse me, other than function, spinning. So originally I was going to do LED lights, but I come up with this once I did this too. I incorporated those lights in the wall with the c-paps. I was able to, once I built the box frame out that I had, incorporated those into place. So you can see basically it's just plastic clear coat. Paint comes through. Originally I was saying I'm going to put LED lights in there, but I decided to change it after the fact, and I wasn't going to have to do that. That was actually going to make it look like it powered the lights from my LED room. And those lights will actually fit into the boxes that I'm actually going to build as well too. So I'm going to kind of do a bit of Empire, wall panels, which I actually like, and then the back wall is going to be in the Slave One. So this will incorporate in there and just kind of make it Star Warsy. I'll put the frame because I was going to do a frame because that spacing there would be too much. So that's where I came up with the idea for the EVA foam frame, and that's what I've got here. I just cut off the pieces that I wanted to, measure those, incorporate them into like a metal frame, like a metal grate, grating plate. So in the back of it had that diamond pattern, so it would actually look exactly like metal. So after I could do a paint job, glue those in place, drilled a couple holes in the side of those panels, and then just fit the fittings in. So it'll sit on this wall, like I said before. It'll go right there. So, and in the end of the video, you'll see the finished product of where it's at. I have a few other greeblies on the table. I'm not you saw on that flash that I'm actually working on. I'm going to do a carbonite build for my closet doors. So I'm actually not going to use the actual carbonite stuff. But here you can see the finished product. And then there's the EVA foam. I cut the angles, made 45 degree angles so I could make a box frame. So that's what it looks like there. Just the foam. It's not glued in place or nothing yet. So just got it all pre-set up how I wanted it. Joined it. You can see how it's connected there. Basically glued it with the EVA foam glue that I use. So you can see the box is done there. And I went through and put white caulking around it to kind of seal the joints. Primed it with plastic. Did plastic at first, then I primed it. So you can see here it's primed with a gray primer. I went through and then I spray painted it silver. Once I did the silver, I did the latex. So you can see the latex stuff there. You get that for $10 at Walmart. I got a pretty good deal on sale at clearance during Halloween. I did green paint. I kind of got the color of inspiration from Boba Fett's jetpack off of my poster, so I went with those colors, the green, the yellows. And I figured once I dirtied them up, it would actually look in universe too. So there's the finished product there that I had set on the floor. You can see where I glued in the fittings, cut the EVA foam, so it actually just looks like a power box and it's going to sit on the wall. So here's the final product that's on the wall. I've got to redo some of the, I've got to pull my lights up and stuff once I do the boxes, so that'll all be straightened up. I've got some other ideas, where the Millennium Falcon light switch is, and put a couple boxes in there and join those fittings into that. So that's where we're at. And there's the wall in the room. Hey guys, so thanks for stopping by the Bounty Hunter Lounge. That was my Soohka Star Wars power converter egg build with EVA foam, egg crates and plastic parts and pieces that I had laying around, some hard drive parts. So I hope this inspired you guys to kind of get out and create and just make things. I don't have a laser cutter, I don't have a CNC machine, and I don't have all of those machines. So I basically take what I have and basically, like Brian says, it's not room to take nothing and make something, out of it. So I hope you guys were inspired. Thanks for coming by. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends. And as always, I appreciate you guys coming by. Hope you learned something from this video. Hope you take something from Star Wars and make it your own. So again, have a good night, and this is the way, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And Happy New Year.